It's your Uncle Joe Benson talking with Maz Jobrani here on The Sound. It's such a pleasure to finally have you in the studio. I've been playing you for years. Welcome to The Sound.
Thanks for having me. I'm a fan, and I've been a fan, and I've been listening, and I'm excited. When I heard I was coming to do this, I got really psyched up, and I'm even more excited.
Well, we're hot on the fact that you're playing the Improv on the 17th, and you're playing the Wiltern Theater the 21st.
Yeah.
You kind of nervous about that? A big venue with no parking?
Dude, I know exactly. Well, actually, I think last time, because I did it like 4 or 5 years ago, and my father-in-law got a parking ticket. And now I'm married to an Indian woman, and he's this older Indian gentleman, very sweet. You know, one of these guys he's in his mid-70s, doesn't drive that much. So the poor guy, I think he got so traumatized that this time around my wife called and said, listen, he's doing the Wiltern again. Are you coming? And he's like, no, I don't think I need to. I've seen it before. 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
She's like, it's changed. He's like, okay, I come.
One of the great talents that you have is taking your conditions when you grew up and the people around you and talking about that in a way that everybody, no matter what their ethnic background is, can associate with what's going on. Did it take you a while to develop that? Did you have...
Yeah, I think it took me a while to realize how much we have in common.
There you go.
And one of the times it really hit me was I do a bit about my grandmother and how she used to keep her money in her bra. A lot of grandmothers did that.
Yes, I have an Italian grandmother.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you got ethnic grandmother, forget it. So I was doing this thing because I'm from Iran originally, and so I was doing it on I think one night at the Laugh Factory. And there was these 2 Mexican girls that were like falling out of their chairs when I started talking about it. And I realized, I was like, wow, everyone has that grandmother. And if you don't have that grandmother, then you go to the next bit about, your parents who were loud and embarrassing, and somebody's got those parents. So at some point you find the commonality.
You do such a good job of enunciating it too, like the problem with your aunt trying to get a deal at Macy's.
Oh yeah,
trying to talk him down.
Yeah,
and it was like everybody can identify with that kind of stuff.
Oh.
So you were originally from the Detroit area.
Yes.
Well, I mean, after wherever. So you were glad to escape there and be here in Southern
No.
California.
Actually, no. I never got to Detroit. I never got to.
Oh, you didn't?
That's where the Arabs are.
Oh.
The Persians are in L.A.
Sorry.
But I'll tell you what. No, I was okay. It's all geography, baby. It's all good. So, what happened to me was I was one of the few Iranians growing up in Northern California. So I grew up in Marin County. Tiburon.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Tough childhood.
Yeah.
Lots of skateboarding crime. No, it was actually interesting because I talk about this. I got a book that I wrote, and I talk about it in the book. The book, by the way, is called I'm Not a Terrorist, but I've Played One on TV.
Okay.
There's some truth to this. A lot of truth to this.
You can sign my name when you... Okay.
I will be signing it.
So the truth, yes.
So, but what's funny that I talk about it in the book is, so we moved to Tiburon, Marin County, with my Iranian dad, and my dad was larger than life. My dad was just, I would say he was kind of like Vito Corleone. My dad was just this large. If you want things done, he could hook you up. He's tipping people.
Yeah.
He was a self-made millionaire from Iran. He had an electric company. He comes to America, moves to Marin, where it's a wealthy county, but the wealthy white people drove Saabs, Volvos.
Oh yes.
Little subtle. Pop shows up, goes and buys a Rolls Royce. Right? Late 70s, early 80s, Iranian kid being driven around by his father in the back of a Rolls Royce.
Sweet.
Just mortified. I mean, people think it's great. I'm in the back. I'm like, I can't believe this whole oh, you rich. What do you own, an oil well? I'm like, it looks like it, doesn't it? And then the hostage situation hits. I'm like, Dad, get rid of the Rolls. Yeah. We got to lay low. So then he got a Mercedes.
Well, that's far more subtle.
Yeah, but still, he was because what the problem was, being immigrants, he wouldn't drive the Mercedes alone. He'd put 10 people in the Mercedes. The whole family would be in the Mercedes. There'd be roosters in the Mercedes. We still stood out.
Maz Jobrani here with us. Laughter at 45 After. We've featured you many times. We mentioned you doing the Wiltern Theater again on the 21st, and there may be 2 seats available. Do it right now. Go down and get them.
Get them.
Okay, so. Did you actually put together the Axis of Evil tour?
Yeah. Yes, we did.
So you were looking for handle or abuse? Which was it?
Well, we were. You know what it was Mitzi Shore, the owner of the Comedy Store.
Oh, God, yes.
In the year 2000, she wanted to do like a Middle Eastern comedy night. So she put together a show and called it the Arabian Nights. And she put anyone who was brown that wasn't Mexican or African American was in our show. So we had Indians, we had Armenians, we had people who, like women who dated Armenians. I mean, whatever she could find. It was crazy. Everybody was in there. And eventually it came down to me, Ahmed, who's Egyptian American, and Sam Tripoli, who's Armenian, and Aaron Cater, who's Palestinian. The four of us, we started doing Arabian Nights. Now, Iranians are very sensitive about where they're from.
Yeah.
So when people would come up to our shows, they come to the shows, they enjoy the show, but afterwards, every Iranian, Maz, I really enjoyed this show. But Iranian, we're not Arab, okay? We are Persian. I was like, I get it. Calm down. Take it easy, lady. Put away the mink. So that's what it was. And then eventually, me, Ahmed, and Aaron realized that the name just didn't fit, and then George Bush gave us this beautiful gift.
There you go.
And we said, you know what? We're going to lampoon this thing and call it the Axis of Evil Comedy Tour. And what was funny was the whole time we had the Arabs, we had the Iranian. We couldn't find a North Korean.
Nobody wanted to admit it.
Nobody wanted to admit it. We couldn't find. They couldn't get out. So we did the tour, and it went great. And what was the best part of it was that once we came out on Comedy Central and it went online, if you would have asked me, hey, where do you think you're going to be performing a year from now outside the U.S., I would have said, England, Canada, Australia, the English-speaking countries, right? Yeah. Well, I'm so dumb. I didn't realize, but like 6-7 months later, we get a call from some guys out of Jordan. And they go, yes, we would like for you to come do the show in Jordan. And I'm like, bro, I'd love to, but the show's in English. And he's like, yeah, I'm speaking English to you right now, you idiot. And I was like, oh, my God. Yeah. They speak English.
Oh, my God.
So we went out there. We did a tour out there. The king of Jordan showed up at our show.
Whoa.
Crazy stuff. It was really cool. And so, that was the Axis of Evil.
Oh, and you've done a very good job of deflecting any heat that might be tossed your way because you have the gift of humor.
Of course,
okay.
Of course, yes, and I enunciate well.
Very well.
So I can blend in well.
Maz, it was a great pleasure having you here. Look forward to seeing you at the Wiltern. And as a matter of fact, he's on the Laughter at 45 after this coming Friday.
Oh, fantastic. You guys, I'm so honored. You don't know how honored I am to be here. I really appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you.
You're the best.